understand what you're saying. That, I mean, and they do make. I saw a really cute doll, but it was out of stock. I'll send it to you.
Oh, you should see the one that
she has a turban on her head. She has a camouflage jacket on. Have you seen her?
No,
I don't even know her. It keeps coming up on my thing. Hold up. Is this Brunch Breaker? Because you know me, I have no filter. I'd be like, I'm one of them friends. You have me on. You can't have me on.
And then you'd be like, wait.
All kinds of stuff be coming out of my mouth.
That's why I was joking with you. You're that friend you can't have on speakerphone.
I'm not. Like, I am really that one. I'm really that one. But yeah, so I was looking at the doll. She was so cute. I gotta find her again. So Instagram. But when I went back to see the site, it sold out, of course.
Well, I was telling you,
turban. She's cute.
My mom and my godmother got all these little things for Amari, and they were like, okay, this, and I was like, all right. So she got one of those, I guess it's LOL doll.
Yeah, I know LOL.
I hate that. Look, I should have said she got one of these, and it's gonna be like dolls, but the doll is like when we were kids, and you know how you got the little head where you can do the hair. Do you know that thing got tracks in it?
Like, what do you mean tracks?
Tracks, like.
And you can take them out?
You can take them out, put it in. She can have Afro puff. She can have.
That's new. They didn't have that back in the day.
I was like, oh.
They only had the Barbie doll, the big Barbie doll head that you could do the hair, and I never got her.
I don't think I probably did. Look, my mama was my Barbie doll head. She's like, can you braid this part? Right?
Your mother?
Yeah.
I didn't learn how to braid and stuff. My own head. I mean, I had Barbie heads, but I wanted that big one that you could do makeup on, and you could do.
This one, it does that, but you can literally, like, it has different color, and you can put the.
Okay, it's on another level. This is 2020.
People gonna be asking me who my hairstylist was, and I'm gonna be like, oh, it was Amari. She's 5 now, so she did my hair today. That's what you remember.
What you call his daughter?
That's what I'm about to say, Carla.
We were like, your daughter?
Olivia was 8. And she was like, yeah, she did this roller set. Like, your 8-year-old did this?
A roller set.
Like, can you book me an appointment? Please and thank you.
But yeah, so we came on here, Brunch Breakers. I don't know how long we've been taping.
I know it's longer than we intended it
Way
to be. So I might have to cut out, like, the part in the middle.
Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, we were just feeling a certain way. We just wanted to vocalize this and share with you guys. I know you guys are going through stuff too.
And remind you that Black women matter.
Black
lives matter. Like, big
and
ones,
we love
small
you
ones.
Guys out there, and we want you to continue to be safe. And I know we're spiking again. So that's another thing that's come up. Like they're closing the indoor dining in New York again next week. I don't know what's happening in your other states, but I'm hearing all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I don't know if we're going to go in complete lockdown like we did before in March, but we're having little ones here. They're trying to do, and I know they're trying to save the economy or try to help the economy some and not do a complete shutdown, but we got to be safe out there. And people are dying, you know, so it's just.
We just wanted to shout out everybody who, like, has spent the last 9 months in a global pandemic, a recession, the reckoning of racial justice, whether people are, like, the fact that, sorry, you know, I will go off on 12 tangents and
the fact that what?
No, just the fact that so much is happening in regards to racial injustice, and so many people want to argue about, like, the value of Black lives.
How you should feel and how you should feel.
And it's like, please don't tell me how you think I should feel and how you think I should experience this moment in time where so much of the inequity in this country is being highlighted because all these things are happening at once. And that we have to, like, debate over whether or not somebody deserved to be alive or dead. And it was like we have a judicial system. Yes, it's broken, but it's not designed to kill on sight. Like, so many instances that have ended in murder are things that no matter what way the judicial process worked through, no matter what way you worked through it, the death penalty was not on the table.
Oh.
And somebody decided that it was, and then they create a narrative that says, actually, it's okay to do that because of this, and actually, it's okay to do that because of that. And it was like, listen, if you are terrified because of the color of my skin, if that is enough for you to think your life is in danger, then maybe you should be somewhere baking cookies or something non-lethal.
Did you see the whole thing of the Breonna Taylor, the show that came on that
on the ABC special?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that broke down exactly what happened, because we all know that was all wrong on her in every level. But the fact that they let her bleed to death and die in there
and left her on the floor.
Left her. Her mother came back. What was it? Twice?
Hours and hours later.
They said she's go to the hospital.
Still in the apartment.
Hospital. They were like, nobody's here. Came back. Really? And she was still laying dead. So regardless of all that happened, I'm not going to go through we all know that was so wrong. Still left her body. The non-caring of us. The non-caring of us.
The fact that when the charges finally came, the charges are
for the neighbors in the house?
Not even for the neighbors. It's you're defending in the defense of drywall.
Yeah.
And you murdered a human being.
No.
And it's just so disheartening that people want you to explain the ways in which that's wrong. Yeah. And it was like, I'm sorry, but I owe you sugar, honey, ice, and tea. And so it's just, it's infuriating, because you look at people in this country donated money to get the little murderer kid out. So he's out walking the streets. Like, he drove from one state to another and murdered people, and he's out walking the streets like he somehow needed the protections in this. And it was like, listen, y'all are terrible human beings. Like, if you believe, I don't care what the narrative is. Like, that is not, when you look at people like, yeah, I can't. This.
You told me about the other guy that got killed coming from the dentist. I didn't even hear about that one. And I'm gonna go and now look.
No, I don't know if you, because we already having a raggedy day.
I know.
And that's what we were talking about.
I haven't looked at the news in a little bit, and it happened a few days ago, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So I have
in the conversations where there's this whole like campaign to humanize people, to be like, well, actually, they made straight A's in school. And actually this, I don't care if, like, the worst of the worst is true about you. The judicial system is not designed. Our system is not designed to be killed on sight.
Yeah.
So I don't care if you served 20 years in jail for some crime that you paid your debt to society and whatever, like, you are still entitled to your rights. And part of that is being able to not die in a traffic accident.
Be alive, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you should be allowed to defend your guilt or innocence.
They have the protocol. You have the right. You even if they're shooting them.
The number of times that the narrative is shifted to make us believe things that are completely false.
Yeah.
And to just shift the way that we see. Like, we were talking earlier about like body image and things like that. And it's just such an interesting dynamic that so much is geared towards us not seeing the value in ourselves.
Yeah. And
so you have to make a concerted effort to be like, I am valuable. I am,
It's a meditation I'm going to start next week, and it's in the I am of saying a whole bunch of I am worthy. I am loved. I am blah, blah, blah. And you have to like drill it in your mind, because of the outside sources of telling you that you're not. And you've been seeing it since we were small. We've been seeing it the minute we got boobs. We've been seeing it the minute we started dating and dealing with opposite sex. We've been seeing it in the workplace. We've been seeing it when we don't get enough money for what we're worth. We've been seeing it when we don't get those promotions. We've been seeing it all the time. Even in the audition and being an actress part of it, of you better fit that part. And I get that because they're trying to get a character, whatever. But then,
because it's so funny. I was walking with my neighbor yesterday, and she was like, "Your daughter is the spitting image of you."
yes,
And
yes,
I said, it's so funny because I always get contrasting
you're looking
uh,
at cool.
ideas, and I said usually it's a colorism thing where you can't see the similarities in our features because all you see is that I am a different complexion than she is. And it's like, yeah, but like we look exactly alike. Like, yeah, we have
but
the same
in those commercials, that's not what they were doing.
But that's what I was about to say. And so like it's
That's
possible.
not
It's possible.
Because it's true. We all come in different. I have family members who are, I mean, where my grandmother on my father's side, it was 6 of them. And my grandmother was chocolate, beautiful chocolate. My grandfather, that was my grandmother, and my grandfather was maybe a little bit darker than AJ. Yeah. 2 different, and everyone came out rainbow, and it's just what it is, you know. I mean, it's or we all know we're all mixed up, and we all know that.
Or when you read a casting and it wants an ethnically ambiguous person, and it was like, why? Like, why do you want, what does that mean? Does ethnically ambiguous mean not obviously Black? Just say, I don't want you to look like a, because ethnically ambiguous means
not exactly
right.
Yes, sir.
Every time I see that, I'm like, so what you're saying is you don't want the person to be Black because ethnically ambiguous means what exactly?
Yeah.
And why? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is the need? Like, what about this toothpaste?
But yes, but your baby looked just like you. Shoot. Today.
We just came to say, hey, because it's one of those things where with all this going on and with all the emotional baggage that is attached to it, we have to make a conscious effort to keep showing up. And so part of us showing up today is in service of that effort, because a lot of people don't get a choice. A lot of people are in the office today, and especially like in the midst of everything that was happening, when everybody was like randomly apologizing for social injustice. And it was just this weird feeling of, yes, this is awful and terrible, but it's not incongruent with who we are as a nation. Like, it's pretty consistent. It's been this way for a very long time.
Like, I'm not, you always say, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Like, I would love to get to a place where
I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Or I'm sad and brokenhearted, but I'm not surprised. Like with the Breonna Taylor, where it was like they set up for full-blown riots.
Yeah, they really did.
When they were announcing what the results of the grand jury, and the grand jury was like, that little man is a liar.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, they didn't give us the option to give her justice.
No.
That was not his intention in the slightest. And so it's like, it feels like a farce. And the more and more they degrade the integrity of a system that's already disgustingly broken, the less that people will trust the process. Because it's like, why on earth would I trust the process when the person who is responsible for ensuring that justice is served, his primary concern is drywall? Like, nah, buddy. No, like, I get it. Your political ambitions are amounted to more value than her life. And there's nothing you can say to justify that. I don't care, because that's the thing. Like, thank God that the truth came out and we know she wasn't involved and they just made up a story. But even if she was involved, like, answering your door out of your sleep should not be because they don't even, he fired a warning shot.
Yeah.
And most likely the officer probably got shot by the other officer.
Well, yeah.
Because if you're blindly shooting into somebody's house and other people's apartments, and you want me to believe the one shot that went off from his weapon was the one that, no, I doubt it. Like, you didn't do your job appropriately, and you're facing charges for that and sexual assault charges. and you want us to believe in this system, in this process, when you shouldn't have been at her house in the first place, because he had already been apprehended. He was in custody when y'all went to, like, the fact that if when the officer was hit, that you can go on the radio and say the officer got hit and everybody can show up as a result of that. You could have went on the radio and say, okay, we got him, stand down. Because you had, what, 40 whole minutes? Something ridiculous. Some ridiculous amount of time that could have meant the difference in life or death for her. But so many things went wrong.
They left up there to bleed to death. We don't know.
Yeah, she didn't deserve that. Like, and I'll be hard pressed to find a situation where the person deserved what they, and especially in a world where you can take Dylan Roof to get Burger King. Like, miss me with any explanation about the criminality of a person being justification for them losing their life, when Dylan Roof can murder churchgoers, and you'll stop by Burger King to make sure he's fed before taking him to jail. In a world where Dylan Roof deserves, yeah, that's what I said. In a world where Dylan Roof deserves Burger King, yeah, don't ever try to explain to me that somebody else deserved anything. Yeah. Because he's a mass murderer, and you treated him with compassion. And Tamir Rice can't even play in the playground. So no, like miss me.
The phrase, the way cops treat and feel about Black men. Mm-hmm. It's how doctors feel about Black women.
Message.
And I've heard that on other shows, Oz, whatever. I've heard from other people, and even in my own experience, being treated with disrespect or not even acknowledging what I'm saying is because I'm a Black woman, because I walk in here and I'm a Black woman. And the amount of cases of Black women dying in giving birth, and the doctor's she's not even listening to her when she's telling them that something's wrong with her body or whatever. There's the Serena Williams. You know,
and Beyonce, like the fact that Serena Williams and Beyonce, like I bet you her doctor know every word to at least one Beyonce song and has watched Wimbledon enough times to know exactly, and then not
to take it there, but it's just, and this is telling them how we're treated, Black men and Black women and Black people.
Yeah.
On people who are supposed to help us and bring us.
When you sign up for these jobs, it's not designed to discriminate. Like, your job is not to decide that this person's life has more value than this person's
value than the others. Yeah.
And the disparity in the way that people are treated is so drastic that there's no other explanation for it.
No, and it's just like, and it's so obvious. It's just so obvious. So, not to be down.
Yeah, we were having a bad day, and we showed up anyway. You're welcome. No.
Yeah, we showed up anyway. There's things that's going on, and you know, but they're still loving this world.
We're gonna keep showing up every day and loving on, you know, all the goodness
strive to be better.
Yeah.
And it is goodness out here. There's a lot of goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people, and there are good cops out there, and there's wonderful doctors out there. I'm not saying that everybody's, you know, but there are.
And the answer may not be better training, because a lot of times it's like, you know, people spend money on training that is flawed.
Yeah.
And you're like, if this is your point of reference, like, you're gonna keep getting it wrong. But you actually need to listen to the people who are most affected by it.
Exactly. So,
like,
but
here's the seats at the table where change can happen.
Yes. We just want to
love y'all.
We love you.
Thank you for letting us vent.
Yes, it's a venting.
Thank you, because
and we all need that to let Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.